Thanks for tuning in to Healthy Planet One, where we discuss healthy living from experts in each of their fields. This is your host, Patricia Starr.
And your co-host, Kimberly Knock.
Welcome, everyone. Today's guest on Healthy Planet One is Paul Seguin, and we are excited to be hearing him. He'll be talking about, are you lacking energy and joy in your life? So welcome, and thank you for joining us today, Paul. It's nice to have you.
Hello, thanks for having me on.
I'm going to introduce you a bit to our listeners and just share that you, and how I know you is you're incredibly passionate about personal hormone replacement plans, and you've been doing this for the last 21 years. And the thing that I love about your excitement is how you're really excited about giving people a full vital life, and you're a powerful health advocate particularly for men. So I know you own Men's Complete Health MD here in Sarasota, which you started in 2014 with Dr. Hodge. But the thing that actually blows me away about you is the Physicians Hormone Handbook that you showed me, that you actually know backwards and forwards. It was written by Dr. Thery Hertoughe. Did I pronounce his name properly?
Yep, Hertoughe. Yes, correct.
Hertoughe, right? A famous hormone expert, and you know a lot about them. You do a lot of training with other doctors as well. And I know when you got started, you had an amazing experience with a medical doctor that you personally coached to lose 120 pounds. Was he surprised?
Yes, he was really shocked, because in the regular disease-based medicine business, they usually don't talk about weight loss. The doctor simply says, well, eat less food, and that's not the reason that people are overweight. The reason they're overweight is their hormones are not at youthful levels, and over the years, they slowly drop off, ever so slowly, and then we start gaining weight, we start not making muscle, and we lose, most important, the zest for life. And so we have 7 doctors that come to our clinic because most doctors don't know about hormones. And so one of the doctors was leaving, and he was turned and said, "Do you think you can help me?" And I said, "Yeah, doc, I'm sure I can." And he said, "Because I have no joy in my life anymore." And it was just shocking to me. And he was a handsome guy, about 54 years old, actually pretty fit, but to have a medical doctor who had a great family and, wasn't complaining about anything in his life, but other than he had no joy, he had no zest and energy in his life.
So you're telling me that he took care of himself, he exercised, he was fit, but he was just he just kind of lost his zest for life. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. This is another doctor, by the way, that I don't want to confuse anybody. I had the doctor that I took the 120 pounds off.
Yeah.
He was 49. But this other doctor that came in, he had a great wife. He said his family life was great. He had 4 kids. Everything was good, but he just didn't have any zest or joy in his life. And so within like 6 or 7 weeks, he called up and was just amazed. He was amazed on how he felt. Actually, he said what a lot of guys say to me: I forgot how I used to feel. I forgot how I used to feel, which is kind of funny, because how does you lose it a little bit each day or each month, and that's why you literally forget you used to have energy. And that's what happens to a lot of us.
Well, I think you went through that yourself at a certain point, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah. When I turned 50, I was actually a skinny, fat person. I mean, I had a gut, but I was skinny, and I had no energy at all. And my wife said, "Look, you got to do something." So what happened is I sought out a medical doctor that did hormones, and I came out of a fog. And it was so shocking to me how great I felt. And so I started just sharing it with every man I met. Not, I was in another business at the time, and I didn't do it for money. I just did it because I wanted every guy to feel the kind of energy and zest for life that I had that was missing.
Well, and that included loss of libido and all of that as well, right?
Yeah, yes, yeah. Loss of libido. And so obviously women are more in tune to their hormones than men, but men go through the same kind of, they call it male pause, if you will, compared to menopause. And the women are more in tune with their bodies and they can feel it more. Guys just keep pushing ahead and can't understand why they're so miserable.
So what's the key that really got you so passionate? Is it because of what happened to yourself? Is it because of what you've seen in other men? Share some more about that.
Yeah, well, certainly my renewed energy, and then I went into the gym and I got fit literally for the first time in my life. So I wasn't an athlete in high school that kind of lost it, got a dad bod, and then got back in shape. I had never been in shape. So I was really enjoying living life like that. And so, and then each guy that I got interested in measuring and replenishing his hormones would call me up. And it was almost embarrassing because they would call up and say things like, "You gave me my life back. My wife wants to thank you. She can't thank you enough. I'm doing all the honeydew list at home." And actually, I have gotten some calls from wives that just said, "I don't know what you did, but oh my gosh, he's got so much energy and it's just great," So it benefits really the relationship between the husband and wife and the whole family. Guys have more energy with their kids and grandkids in a lot of cases.
So I know that, and I'm going to ask you this question because I come from a kind of a natural approach and eating well and doing things naturally. Where does this paradigm fit in with what you're talking about, and how does that work?
Well, this is really natural. So hormones are natural. It's because of all the toxins and the chemicals that our forefathers did not have to put up with. Our great grandfathers were studs compared to us, and they didn't have to put up with. I always blame 1950. About 1950, DDT came out. And it was one of the first chemicals, and then thousands of chemicals followed after. And so we're bombarded with these chemicals every day, and they are endocrine disruptors, which means a lot of these chemicals lower our natural hormones. So this is really a natural approach. We're replacing and sometimes we can do it with nutrition, but usually we have to, balance and replace the hormone that's dropped off.
Well, Kimberly, you might want to jump in here because I know you have your certification in hormone health. Do you have some input or question?
Well, I love this. And, I definitely, I'm a food person. I start with food. I'm 56 and people wouldn't know it. I've always been an athlete, but I don't work out that hard anymore. But I always say abs start in the kitchen. So I really help people, just like you said, 80,000 plus chemicals in the last 40 years that are mainly endocrine disruptors. And then we have the the high fructose corn syrup, the junk food, the MSG, all of this stuff. And I coach men on, building testosterone naturally, but still we do lose our hormones. And that is for sure. I don't have estrogen left. And I I'm holding on by the threads, but they make a big difference. And that's why I always say, that's why you want to go organic. You don't want to mess with your hormones because that's when you feel your best. And that's what you're saying. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like how you've taken men that have kind of like given up, and they're frustrated because they're not able to have that level of expression, and you've helped to turn them around. And how do you work with their diet? I mean, what is your approach in that?
Yes, so we always look at their diet, and we're kind of big on the eat right for your blood type, and we don't live by it, but we look at it. And we're talking, by the way, about retired NFL football players. We're talking about college athletes. Mm-hmm. We're talking about, really guys that were fit and vigorous at one point. Well, now our NFL football player, he's only 45-ish, but he played for the Dallas Cowboys for 8 years. Okay, so he was a real big league football player, and he just got more tired, and he's only 45.
Wow.
And of course, so we did work a lot with his diet, because when he played, we do get college and pro athletes that had eaten a lot of food when they were playing, and so we have to kind of reset their brain and have them eat the right foods. And certainly, I think high fructose corn syrup is the absolute poison, and that's hidden so many times. It's hidden in all these foods, okay? And so when you tell somebody, look, cut the sugar back, and then like my son came home the other day and he had ketchup, I said, you can't use that ketchup. It's got high fructose corn syrup in it, right? And we just don't know. We don't know, but that's really worse than regular sugar, and is the high fructose corn syrup, because they hide it. Okay, and the regular person doesn't know that. And so we do a lot of education on food, because unfortunately, people just don't know. And the industry, the food industry, tricks people all the time and puts stuff in food, and so obviously education is a big part of it.
Well, the other thing that I've been really impressed at your approach in terms of hormone health is you have your doctor does an extensive blood survey in terms of, because we, like you're talking about, we are so inundated with all of these chemicals and poor eating and what have you in our lives, that to get a really good comprehensive panel, that allows you to really create a plan that really can turn this whole thing around very, very quickly. And you're talking, 4 or 5 weeks, is that right?
Yeah, and sometimes it takes a couple, 3 months, but certainly we tell our guys, look, check your oil, and we use that term because we think they'll relate to it, right? And certainly, like, we draw 14 vials of blood approximately, sometimes 16 vials of blood. Well, you go to your regular doctor, and he draws 2 vials of blood, and he pronounces you fit as a fiddle, you're in great shape, and they don't check anything. And, we do 9 thyroid tests alone, and, nobody's doing complete thyroid panel. I should say nobody. Very few people do a complete thyroid panel. And so it's all necessary. It all matters. So,
Kimberly, did you have a question?
I just think it's fantastic that you're looking at it at this level. And I show people how to cook and also change the diet. So it's really important, that hands-on stuff. But you're right. I showed a picture in my program of the high fructose corn syrup where it's hidden, and people were shocked. I mean, like Teddy Grahams and this and that, anything in a boxer bag. So we just really have to get back to the basics. And I love that you go to the depth that you do, because the root is where everything starts. And that's great.
Yeah, well, I jokingly, people come to me about diet, and I said, listen, I'll give you a $2,000 diet plan for free. I said, you probably won't do it, but here it is. Cut out all sugars and sugar alternatives. Sucralose, for example. 0 calories. No. sucralose will raise your blood sugar, and it is not good. Okay, so I just simply say you just cut